What's good? What's going on, man? It's your boy B, and we back in this mud with another video, man. Today I'm bringing you guys all-time best shooters from every NBA team, man. First off, I just want to say they better have. I see Ray Allen, so I know he got Ray Allen in here. Of course they're gonna have Curry, you know what I'm saying? Of course they're gonna have Curry. Who else? Some pretty good. We talking about pure shooters. I would throw Dirk Nowitzki in there. Larry Bird, of course. Come on now. What am I talking about? We gotta throw Larry in that mud. Who else a pure shooter, man? Chauncey Billups, maybe, you know. Talking about all time. He got James Harden on the thumbnail, so James Harden, we throw James Harden in there as well. I know it's more than that, but like those are the ones that's like I can just think about the top of my head. But anyways, man, enough talking, man. Check this video out, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on the vid. All that good stuff helps out with the channel. Hit that sub button, man. We on the ground today. Big. How many subs we got? I don't even know how many subs we got. It don't even matter. Hit that sub button if you enjoying the content, man. Let's hop straight into it, man. Let's get it.
Ray Allen is second all-time in three-pointers made, but he doesn't lead any NBA franchise in made threes. So we broke down the numbers for some of the greatest shooters of the past and present. These are the best three-point shooters
Durant
for every NBA franchise.
Hold on. Ginobili. Let me throw Ginobili in there. They gonna come to me as Kobe, of course. How did I forget Kobe? I don't really consider Kobe like a pure shooter, though. I don't know. That's Kobe, though, B. I don't know.
Los Angeles Lakers.
What y'all think?
He wasn't a particularly great shooter from deep, but because he spent his entire career with the Lakers, and because he really liked to shoot, Kobe Bryant is by far the Lakers' all-time leader in three-pointers made. His former teammates Derek Fisher, Nick Van Exel, and Byron Scott are behind Kobe, while LeBron James occupies the number 5 spot. When it comes to accuracy, Steve Nash is at the top, with 42% of his threes finding the target. Boston Celtics. Larry Bird was the best shooter of his era. He led the league and made threes twice.
Nah, that's respect, bro. You threw Larry in there, bro. Nah, hey, big shout out to non-sports too, man. Non-stop sports, bro. Hey, he threw Larry Bird in here, bro. Like, not too many of these creators be throwing Larry Bird in their V's, bro. Like, when they be, and like, this is an old V right here, bro. Like, come on, man. Hey, look, shout out to non-stop sports, bro.
However, Larry is not even in the Celtics' top 5 in made threes. Bird is trailing Marcus Smart, Ray Allen, Jason Tatum, and Antoine Walker, but they all made less than 1,000 threes in a green jersey. Far away from everybody else on this list is the truth, Paul Pierce, who made 1,823 three-pointers in his 15 years as a Celtic. New York Knicks. The Knicks have been successful in the 70s when they won their only 2 titles, and then again in the 90s when they made another 2 trips to the finals but tasted no champagne. In this millennium, they made the playoffs only 6 times in 22 seasons. They became known for squandering away talent quickly, bad draft picks, and betting on the wrong players. So it's no wonder that their leading three-point shooters are from the 90s. Their best shooter was better known for his battles with Jordan and Reggie Miller, but John Starks also had a decent shooting stroke, and Starks led the NBA in three-pointers made in 1995. Starks' 982 made three-pointers.
What's real quick, like what's Starberry? What is this? I don't know his first name. I know he had like a little clothing brand and stuff out. Starberry or something like that. Something like that. He had like Chloe had some shoes out. He played for the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. Was he like pretty good in the league? Let me know, man.
Are still at the top of the Knicks leaderboard. Allen Houston is a close second, and Carmelo Anthony is third, with 762 threes as a Knick.
Dang.
Cleveland Cavaliers. You probably already know which player leads the Cavs. And yes, you're right. It's LeBron James, who leads the Cavaliers in just about any category, including the most important one for the Finals MVP. The King made 1,251 threes with the Cavs, and is ahead of Kevin Love, Mark Price, Kyrie, and J.R. Smith. Atlanta Hawks. Dominique Wilkins leads almost all Hawks leaderboards, but he did most of the damage inside the three-point line. Joe Johnson was a good shooter and was a 6-time All-Star in his 7-year tenure in the A. However, ISO Joe is only the second all-time three-point leader, behind Mookie Blaylock. Mookie spent 7 seasons in Atlanta in the 90s, and he was ahead of his time, shooting nearly 6 deep shots per game. Mookie nailed 1,053.
What's his last name? Mookie what?
The 90s, and leader in your tenure in the A line. Joe Johnson was a good shooter and was a 6-time All-Star in his 7-year tenure in the A. However, ISO Joe is only the second all-time three-point leader, behind Mookie Blaylock. Mookie spent 7 seasons in Atlanta in the 90s, and he was ahead of his time, shooting nearly 6 deep shots per game. Mookie nailed 1,053s in a Hawks jersey, but he's not going to stay at the top for long. Trae Young has already hit 733 pointers in 4 NBA seasons, and is almost certainly going to surpass Blaylock's record in the near future. Brooklyn Nets. If he hadn't tragically passed away in a car crash, Dražen Petrovic would probably be at the top of the...
Petrovic? No.
Nets shooting tragically passed away in a car crash. Dražen Petrovic would probably...
Yeah, we did check him out, bro. Oh, yeah, y'all did told me he passed away in a car crash. Mad young, too, bro. Mad young, bro.
Be at the top of the Nets shooting lists. Petro is still the 5th most accurate player ever behind the three-point line, with 43.7% career shooting from deep. However, above Petrovic in the top 5 are 2 current Nets players, Seth Curry and Joe Harris. Seth and Joe are also the Nets' all-time leaders in three-point percentage, while Harris also leads the franchise in threes made, in front of Jason Kidd and Kerry Kittles. Charlotte Hornets.
White chocolate. Nah, he gotta have Pistol Pete in here, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. He gotta have Pistol Pete in here, bro.
The Nets' all-time leaders in three-point percentage, while Harris also leads the franchise in threes made, in front of Jason Kidd and Kerry Kittles. Charlotte Hornets. When you're discussing shooting in the NBA, the Curry name must be mentioned. Steph and Seth grew up in Charlotte, where their father Dell proved that he was one of the best marksmen in NBA history. In his 10 years as a Hornet, Dell hit 929 triples, which made him a franchise leader in threes for 2 decades. But in 2018, Kemba Walker broke his record, and he made 1,283 three-pointers for Charlotte. Chicago Bulls. When someone says Chicago Bulls, you think of MJ's mid-range mastery, Scotty's defense, or Derrick Rose's monstrous dunks. But when it comes to Chicago's three-point shooters, the first association is Steve Kerr, who is the all-time NBA leader in three-point percentage. While the current Warriors coach did make 48% of his threes for the Bulls, he only took 2 per game and is nowhere near the top in made threes. You'd probably never guess that of the Bulls' all-time leaders in three-pointers, Jordan is 5th on that list, Pippen is 4th, while Ben Gordon and Zach LaVine occupy positions 2 and 3. The guy who made the most threes as a Bull is Kirk Heinrich. Captain Kirk played 11 seasons in Chicago and is the only player with over 1,000 threes in a Bulls uniform. Dallas Mavericks. There was only one player who played 21 NBA seasons for one franchise, and his name is Dirk Nowitzki. Like LeBron, the blonde German is the all-time Mavs leader in almost any statistical category. Nowitzki made 1,982 threes, nearly 2 times more than Jason Terry, who is the next person on the list. Luka Doncic is currently the 5th Maverick in three-pointers made. Slowly but surely, he's catching up on all of Dirk's records. Denver Nuggets. Will Barton was recently traded to the Wizards, which means he will not be able to add more threes to his Nuggets tally. With 804 three-pointers made, Barton is still Denver's all-time leading marksman, in front of J.R. Smith and Jamal Murray, who will probably be at the top of this list after the 2023 NBA season. Detroit Pistons. The Pistons were always known for defense and hard fouls, and not for shooting. Even though he played more than 1,000 games for Detroit, their all-time leader in threes made only 993s, and that's Joe Dumars. Chauncey Billups, aka Mr. Big Shot, is number 2 on the list with 890.
Hey, I was close.
Golden State Warriors. If you had to guess who's the Warriors' all-time leader in three-point percentage, you'd probably say Stephen Curry. You'd be wrong. After that, you'd probably say Klay Thompson, and be wrong again. With 46% accuracy from behind the arc, Anthony Morrow is the Warriors' all-time leader in three-point percentage, while Steph is number 3 and Klay is number 5. Of course, when it comes to three-pointers made, Steph is the all-time NBA leader, with 3,117 threes after the 2022 season. Klay is second with 1,912. Draymond is pretty high too, and with 571 made threes, he's currently the number 6 all-time Warrior, and he's probably going to be 3rd in a few seasons. It's going to be a nice counter-argument when Charles Barkley starts teasing Draymond about his shooting struggles. Houston Rockets. Just like the Warriors, it's pretty obvious who holds the record here. While Golden State may have popularized pace and space basketball, the Rockets took it to the extreme. Maybe GM Daryl Morey and his analytics couldn't pull girls in high school, but they sure did set the new trend in the NBA. The Rockets' mantra was to only shoot in the paint or behind the three-point line, and they had the perfect man for the job. James Harden proved to be one of the best scorers of all time with his step-back threes, lefty drives, and drawing fouls.
Oh my God.
The Beard made 2,029 three-pointers in Houston, which is more than double of Eric Gordon in second place. Indiana Pacers. He played for the Pacers his entire career, from 1987 to 2005. He's known as the Knick Killer and Cheryl Miller's little brother. Towards the end of his career, teammates called him Uncle Reg. He's Reggie Miller, one of the best three-point shooters ever. In 2010, Ray Allen did break Uncle Reg's all-time three-point record, which Miller held for over a decade. But Reggie made 2,563s in his career, all for the Pacers.
Hey,
Los Angeles Clippers. Well, you
shooter,
probably knew who leads the Warriors, Rockets, and the Pacers in threes. You have to be the biggest NBA nerd, Billy Crystal, or a close family member to know which player leads the Clippers in three-pointers made. It's Eric Piakowski, aka the Polish Rifle, who played for the Clippers between 1994 and 2003, with 738 made threes. Piakowski is ahead of players from the Lob City era, J.J. Redick, Jamal Crawford, and Chris Paul. Luke Kennard leads the Clippers in three-point percentage all time, and in the 2022 NBA season, he actually led the NBA in that category. Memphis Grizzlies. This one is pretty logical. The Grizzlies were founded in 1995, so their best three-point shooter has to be someone who played recently. The longest-tenured Grizzlies ever are Zebo, Marc Gasol, and Mike Conley. And yes, you guessed it. Conley is their all-time leader in threes, in front of Mike Miller and White Chocolate. The Grizzlies' all-time leader in three-point percentage plays on the team currently, and it's Desmond Bane. Keep an eye on this young guy, because we believe he's going to be one of the best shooters in the NBA in years to come.
Desmond Bane be hooping. I'm surprised he ain't put Rudy Gay in there, though. Rudy Gay must have played with the Grizzlies for long, though. That's probably what it is.
If he stays with Memphis, Bane is going to break Conley's record pretty soon. Miami Heat. He was known for his crossover and not his shot. No, we're not talking about Dwayne Wade. The Heat's all-time leader in threes is Tim Hardaway Sr., the original. Wade is actually only 7th on the Heat's all-time list with 481 made three-pointers. Hardaway made 806, and he's soon going to be passed by Duncan Robinson. Robinson is only 43s away from becoming the best shooter in the Heat's history, while playing only 3 full seasons with Miami so far. Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have had some fabulous shooters over the years.
I don't know
Dale Ellis, Del Curry, Kyle Korver, Keith Van Horn, Michael Redd, and of course, Ray Allen.
Yo, Kyle Korver played for the Bulls though, didn't he? Kyle Korver. That's the name I was trying to think of when he was going through the Bulls lineup, but the name didn't hit. I knew it started with a K, but I didn't want to just throw something out there. You know what I'm saying? But Kyle Korver can definitely shoot.
However, none of them lead the franchise in made threes. It's somebody who currently plays on the team. Of course, it's not Giannis, but his running mates, Chris Middleton, who splashed 1,202 three-pointers as a Buck. Minnesota Timberwolves. For a long time, the Wolves were one of the worst franchises in the NBA and couldn't do anything after the departure of Kevin Garnett because their best players ever were big men and because nobody wanted to stay in the cold Minneapolis for too long. It's no surprise that they have only 2 players who made more than 500 threes in their jersey. The second on the list is Andrew Wiggins with 523 pointers. And the number 1 spot is occupied by Karl Anthony Towns with 779 made threes. Even though he's a center, Cat is a 40% career shooter from deep, and he's arguably the best shooting center ever. New Orleans Pelicans.
That's crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. So Towns shoot better than Jokic? Yikes.
Bond on surfaces like net.
New Orleans got its NBA franchise in 2002, and it's hard to guess their all-time leaders. When we did the research for this, we would have sworn that Chris Paul is number 1 here, but he's not even in the top 5. It's actually Drew Holiday with 628 made threes, ahead of Peja Stojakovic and Ryan Anderson. Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder took the franchise away from Seattle, and in the NBA books, the Supersonics records count as OKC record.
Why, bro? Like, hey, do y'all, bro? I honestly believe, bro. Like,
Stojakovic and Ryan Anderson.
Seattle better.
Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder took.
I like Seattle better. The Supersonics. I like
the franchise away from.
The OKC is cool, but I like Seattle better.
From Seattle. And in the NBA books, the Supersonics records count as OKC records. So the best three-point shooter in their joint history played just one season in Seattle, and then he transferred to Oklahoma, together with the entire franchise. Of course, we're talking about Kevin Durant, who made 1,143 threes between 2007 and 2016. Contrary to the popular belief that he can't shoot, Russell Westbrook is pretty high on the list, in third place with 922 made threes. Orlando Magic.
Westbrook
The
can't
two
shoot
leading
like that,
three-point
what?
makers for the Magic both played with Shaquille O'Neal in the
he's working on a shot,
1995
though.
NBA Finals. One is known for having the record for most three-pointers made in a season, while the other missed 4 consecutive free throws in the deciding moments of Game 1 of the 95 Finals. We're talking about Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson, who are still the top shooters in Orlando, even after the three-point revolution. Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers had some pretty efficient shooters, like Dana Barros, Kyle Korver, JJ Redick, or Seth Curry. But their all-time leader in threes is a guy who never met a shot he didn't like, even though he was never very efficient. Allen Iverson is the Sixers' leader in threes made with 885 buckets. Phoenix Suns. Steve Nash is primarily known as a passer because he had eyes on the back of his head and could find teammates in traffic like he was a magician. Nash led the NBA in assists for 5 seasons, but his passing is probably his second best skill. Why? Because Nash is one of the best and most efficient shooters in NBA history. Only 9 players ever recorded 50-40-90 shooting splits for the season. Everybody in the 50-40-90 club only had one such season. Larry Bird had 2, but Nash had 4. Steve is close to shooting 50-40-90 for his entire career, and frankly, he should have been more selfish. Still, he's the Suns' all-time leader in three-pointers made, with 1,051, and in three-point percentage with 43.5%. However, Devin Booker is closing in, and he needs just 84 threes to replace Nash at the top. Portland Trailblazers. You know what time it is. It's Dame time. Damien Lillard is of course the all-time leader in threes for the Blazers. A 10-year veteran averages 3 deep shots made each game, and currently has 2,143 threes to his name, which is good for number 9 on the all-time NBA list. Sacramento Kings. The Kings haven't made the playoffs since 2006, and their 16-year absence from the postseason is an NBA record. Their last good team nearly made the finals in 2002, when Peja Stojakovic was tearing up defenses from deep. We figured that he'd be the franchise leader in threes due to his 8-year tenure in Sacramento, but we were wrong. Stojakovic made 1,070 shots behind the arc, good enough for the number 2 spot. With 1,248 made three-pointers, Buddy Hield is the best shooter in Kings history, despite playing 133 games less than Peja. San Antonio Spurs. He started his career with the Spurs with many doubters, and with long dark hair. He retired with an enormous bald spot, but left the game as a legend. Of course, we're talking about Manu Ginobili, who made 1,495 threes for the Spurs. But interestingly, the all-time Spurs leader in three-point percentage is Pau Gasol, which tells you that he should have been playing like Nowitzki all along. Toronto Raptors. He's small and stocky, and he's been told he wasn't clutch almost his entire career. But he changed that narrative late in his career and helped the Raptors win their first NBA title. He's Kyle Lowry, and with 1,518 threes for Toronto, he's by far the best three-point shooter in franchise history. Utah Jazz. Like Steve Nash, John Stockton is primarily known as a passer, which removes the fact that he was a hell of a shooter. Stockton shot 51% from the field and 39% for 3 for his career. And just like Nash, he should have taken more shots himself. John is 3rd on the all-time three-pointers list. Joe Ingles is number 1, but since he got traded to the Bucks, Donovan Mitchell will surpass him during the 2023 season. Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal is either a really loyal guy, or he really wanted to get that 5-year supermax that only Washington could have offered him. Whatever the case may be, Beal is the franchise leader in threes with 1,434 makes, nearly 600 more than Gilbert Arenas at number 2. If he stays in the capital city, Beal is likely going to own nearly all franchise records.
That's fire right there, man. That's fire right there, man. I learned a lot though. It was a lot of shooters I missed. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. But it brought back a whole bunch of different memories, bro. But anyways, man, you guys go all-time best shooters from every NBA team, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, man, be sure to just drop a like on the vid, man. It really helps out the channel. Really means a lot to me as well. Hit that sub button if you want to see more content like this as well. With that being said, be sure to check out one of the videos on the screen. It's definitely a banger. I wouldn't miss it if I was you, man. Catch y'all next video. Appreciate the love and support.